Hi, I'm Jeremy Thomas, Director of Product Development at Active.com, and I want to talk to you today about objectivity, understanding the value that your API brings to your business. I am the guy in charge of all the people who program the services and the underlying applications that make up Active.com. I'm not going to talk to you about programming. I'm going to talk to you about our business. So let me start explaining to you how we make money on Active.com. If you are into fitness, if you're into nutrition, if you do yoga, if you're a soccer dad looking to sign up your kid for a soccer camp, then the chances are you've landed on our site to read articles about a swimming workout, what to eat on the weekend as you're training, how to recover from tendon damage. So every time you view an article on our site, we get to show you lots of advertisements. So publishers, and Active.com is a publisher, we think of page views as inventory. And we sell our inventory to advertisers on a cost per thousand impression basis, a CPM basis. And we have a going rate of, I don't know, between $5 and $10, depending on the section. So this means that the more page views we have on Active.com equals more ad impressions, and that equals more money. That's how we monetize the media side of our business. Okay, what about you sporting enthusiasts who sign up for marathons, triathlons, etc.? You probably do it on our website as well. We have baseball clinics, we have marathons, we have triathlons, we have all sorts of good stuff to sign up for and register for on our website. And every time you do this, we take a cut. So this is another way that we're able to monetize visitors on Active.com. Both of these models then create what we call internally the virtuous circle, and that is the intersection of supply and demand, where our event organizers are creating supply, and that is a collection of activities that people who are on our media sites want to sign up for. So our media sites drive, not only do they make money by serving page views, they also drive people towards our registration engines to convert and pay us money to register for events. And then when they're done registering, they are gracefully led back out of the registration funnel onto our media sites, where we can then show them more ads. And that's the circle. So our API then extends the reach of our supply, again, the activities that are created on our site for registration, beyond Active.com's borders. Now let's talk about analytics. This is an exciting topic. Data. We obsess over data. I'm in KPI meetings every month, and we go over charts and charts and charts of data showing how we're performing. What are we interested in? Well, we like page views, so we like to see how our page views are trending. Of course, registrations, because this is indicative of the money we're making through our registration funnels. Hey, we look at the types of devices people are using to access our site. This is interesting information too. iPhone's huge, followed by the iPad, second place. Android is a third place. Through our Mastery portal, we can tell how often our APIs are called. So this is great. This tells us who's integrating to us, how often they're using our systems, but we also know how many page views and registrations come from external sources through Google for SEO. Our newsletters are a huge source of traffic to Active.com. Facebook is the second largest referrer to Active.com. So our social media guys have been kicking butt getting people back to our site. And then, of course, people just link directly to us. So we understand how traffic is getting to us in traditional media ways, but how much traffic do we get to our site from partners who are using our API? How many registrations happen on our site because partners have referred them and they are using our API? We don't know. So today, we can't really measure the value of our API. We think our API adds value by increasing page views. So people are coming to our site because they see our listings on Livestrong.com, which is a partner, and they click over to our website. And we think our API adds values by increasing registrations. So let me walk you through a use case then of how our data gets onto a publisher site. Chris is a developer for BigSkyEagles.com. And that's Chris. Actually, Chris isn't a developer for Big Sky Eagles. He works for me, but I asked him to pose for this presentation. So that's Chris. He uses the Active.com API to showcase running races in Big Sky, Montana. And here's BigSkyEagles.com. We have running races in Big Sky, Montana, and you can see the first link. This is the Missoula All-Women's 5K Run. Okay, Amanda lives in Big Sky, and she loves BigSkyEagles.com. This is her favorite website. And there's Amanda. This is what women in Montana do. They haul gear out of mountains on horses. So Amanda clicks the Missoula All-Women's 5K Run and ends up on Active.com. And she sees this page. Well, we just got to show her a Wheaties ad. That's cool. We made a little bit of money. So let's just walk through what happened. Chris wrote code. The link's featured on BigSkyEagles.com because he wrote code. Amanda clicks the Missoula All-Women's 5K Run, ends up on Active.com, page view, cha-ching. So the Active.com API needs to be given credit for this page view. Amanda then clicks the Register Now button and signs up for the race. Wow, a double whammy. So we got to show her a page view, we showed her a Wheaties ad, and now she signed up for a race, so we've actually made money through a transaction. We should also give the API credit for the registration, but we don't. We will even go as far as to incentivize publishers like BigSkyEagles.com to feature our data on their websites by paying them 50 cents for each referral that they drive to Active. This is an affiliate program. But again, in order to do that, we have to be able to trace the money that Amanda spent on Active.com to the fact that she clicked to our site from BigSkyEagles.com and the fact that BigSkyEagles.com consumed our data through our API. Without metrics, everything is subjective. And certainly last year was all about exploring the API. Let's get this out there to developers. Let's see what they do with it. Let's see if they come up with interesting ways to use our data. We're out of that honeymoon period. We are maturing. The API is part of our strategy. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's part of our strategy. So now we need to understand what value it's delivering to our business. And of course, without objectivity, two differing viewpoints can both be correct. One guy can say this is an angry man, and somebody else could say, no, this is two kissing poodles. And both of them are, well, correct depending on your perspective. So thankfully, we can get metrics by injecting tracking code into our API responses. This is not beyond technical limitations. One of the things that's interesting to us is understanding the ratio of API calls to page views. So we want to reward publishers, like in this case, and this is made up data, by the way, but we want to reward publishers like American Towns, who has a very close API call referral ratio. That means the number of people that they bring into our site is close to the number of calls that they're making to our API. We want to discourage, and again, made up data, Livestrong.com from the inverse ratio where they're making a lot of API calls but not driving a lot of traffic to our site. And in terms of registration, well, those colors didn't come through. But we're interested in understanding the number of API calls to registration. And we want to reward publishers who have higher ratio and perhaps talk to them about doing more business. Now, thankfully, it's not all doom and gloom. We're working closely with Mashery on a value tracking system that will allow us to measure these types of things. So I'll be able to go to my VP and show him explicitly the kind of value the API is drawing to Active.com. Thank you for your time.
All right. So in this sense, it's a tool to extend in as many ways as possible. What are some of the metrics you'd like to see come out of this? You've identified the things you can't get. If you had to prioritize them, what do you think is the most important stuff that needs to develop in this business?
Page views is the easiest technically. The most valuable to us, though, is the registration conversion, which would require a little bit of JavaScript and some tracking pixels.
Right.
The real trick to this, though, is doing this in such a way that the API can worry about being the API, and the tracking is done in a more of an abstraction, a layer that worries only about tracking.
Right, they ride together, but
right.
independently.
And that's where Mashery comes in, is they're that abstraction.
Okay, thanks a lot. Mm-hmm.